Senator Gabbard currently serves as chair of the Committee on Agriculture and Environment. He represents Hawaii's 20th Senate Senatorial District and has served in the Hawaii State Senate since 2006. Senator Gabbard has been instrumental in passing legislation to protect our environment, including our coral reefs and oceans, and he has led efforts to mitigate the existential threats posed by the climate crisis. So with that, I would turn this over to Senator Mike Gabbard to give us a few remarks. Mike?
Mahalo, Ted. Aloha mai kako, and I hope you and your ohana are safe, well, and that you all had a nice Thanksgiving. I apologize. I just got back from Phoenix where I spent Thanksgiving with family, and I've got a bad cough and just really feeling under the weather. So I'm going to just, I'm turning it over to Corrine, my committee clerk. She'll be taking over right after I speak. So I look forward to watching the recording. But I first want to mahalo all of you who were involved in putting this follow-up event together. And as I said at the September 18th HICA event, this is such a great idea. It just makes sense that, inviting all the stakeholders to get together and talk story before session starts. And so here we're conveniently doing it online once again. And so this follow-up meeting, we were asked to provide our top 3 priorities and to be more specific to climate bills. And I know I have only 5 minutes, so let's go. So one of my priorities is the Green Amendment, SB 502, which I introduced last session, but it did not make it to the finish line. Green amendments are provisions added to the Bill of Rights section of a constitution that recognize and protect the rights of all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or income, including future generations. Pure water, clean air, a stable climate, and healthy environments. So SB 502, it would amend our state constitution to protect those rights and could be used in cases where those rights are being threatened. Our state constitution, it currently protects our environmental rights to some extent, but only as set forth in laws and implemented by agencies. An update, support for green amendments is getting momentum in other states as other legislatures are beginning to recognize the power in including such basic but strong language in a state constitution's Bill of Rights. Pennsylvania and Montana, they passed their green amendments back in the early 70s. And just last month, I think it was November 3rd, New York became the 3rd state in the country to pass a green amendment. Hawaii is one of 12 states that have proposed bills that are being put forth by legislators. And a reminder that it does require a 2/3 majority in each chamber of the legislature to pass. And then it would be on the ballot. A ballot question would be there this coming next November, excuse me. And that ballot question would require a simple majority by voters. And so if approved, it would protect such rights for present and future generations. Secondly, another priority I have is the Carbon Positive Incentive Program. It was SB 493 from last session. And this bill sets up a Hawaii Ag and Forest Carbon Positive Incentive Program that will keep forests and working ag lands intact and sequester additional carbon on those lands. The bill would encourage the sequestration of atmospheric carbon gases by making it easier for farmers and landowners to get contracts for engaging in regenerative ag and sustainable forest practices. So we must all we have to do all we can to reduce our carbon footprint and become carbon negative as soon as possible. And in striving to do this, it's not enough to limit greenhouse gas emissions. We must also draw carbon down from the atmosphere. Substantial sequestration of carbon is needed as well as major greenhouse gas emissions controls. So the funding for this would be from a portion of the revenues generated by the barrel tax. Hawaii Ag and Forest Carbon Positive Incentive Program is vital to support our local producers and reach a carbon neutral clean economy by 2045. And then finally, my other priority is the visitor green fee. As we all know, our beaches, reefs, ocean, forest parks, and other natural resources are part of what makes Hawaii such a special place. And these natural resources, they provide billions of dollars of value to the state's economy and are a vital piece of our tourism industry, helping to sustain the well-being of our communities. But because of too many tourists, Hawaii's natural resources are being negatively affected and will face new challenges with climate change. Last session, it was our WAM chair, Senator Dela Cruz, who introduced SB 666, and it proposed to establish a green fee surcharge of $20 on transit accommodations for the purposes of funding workforce programs and services that promote certain environmental goals. So it proposed a 10-year pilot green fee surcharge and set up a special fund. So there's growing interest and support in the belief that visitors can and should contribute a green fee surcharge to help preserve our natural resources. And this visitor green fee campaign, it could provide ways to enhance job opportunities in terms of literally creating thousands of green jobs and elevating the overall visitor experience as well. So, I mean, to me, it's truly a no-brainer. We should all pay our fair share in protection of our island's beauty and bounty. So in closing, I just shared my top 3 priorities. I know there are many more issues and concerns that affect Hawaii and its people that will be equally and thoroughly considered as we move through the next session. Now is a time to start sharing those. We're in the tweaking mode right now of previous bills. So please let me know your thoughts about other bills or even concepts that you'd like to see passed into law. There's more to be done. And with these continued collaborative efforts, such as this meeting, it's my hope that we'll get the kinds of results that we can greatly benefit from. So, and with your continued support, I look forward to more successes next session. So aloha and mahalo, and have a safe holiday.
Thank you, Senator Gabbard. Aloha, mahalo to you as well. I wanted to ask one question for you, if you would. And that is, the Green Constitutional Amendment is it sounds like a wonderful concept. But some people are afraid of large changes. What would you say to people who say this is too much of a change?
I think it's a good question, Ted, because that's some of the blowback we got when we heard the bill, was that, oh my God, this is just education, basically, right? We just need to educate. This elevates the whole issue of our environment and good air and good water, et cetera. I mean, look at what's happening with Red Hill right now. I mean, it's all on the front pages, right? And I think, basically just education.
Thank you. And thank you for your presentation.